For my children, a whistle does not sound the same. This is what they hear after a whistle. And it makes it worse that after that, you cannot tell if it's them shooting or if it's your neighbor shooting.
It's essentially the background music to the kids' life in Lincoln Heights. You know, gunshots is not something that kids should ever get used to hearing.
The Cincinnati Police Department has been training and using our backyard as their gun range. And you know, obviously nobody wants to live behind a gun range. Nobody wants to consistently hear gunfire, uncontrolled gunfire in any neighborhood, especially a predominantly African-American community like Lincoln Heights is. You know, you get a lot of bad stereotypes, you get a lot of bad stigmas. And when you talk about home improvements, when you talk about businesses coming in here, you know, it's kind of hard to sell moving into community when in the background you're hearing automatic weapons being let go. Because one of the things you often hear about the gun range is that I've gotten used to it. Well, you should never get used to gunfire. And the biggest thing now is that the residents are not just going to stop and just let this continue to go on. Like even with the removal of the gun range, they don't want that to be the end all of it. They want to now say, okay, you've been here for 75 years, you've been here for 80 plus years. How can we now benefit from the trauma that's been taking place? That's the voices of the residents. And because they feel a part of this action. And that's been the biggest part of the GCF piece, because you're talking about true, meaningful, purposeful community engagement opportunities.
Through the Heights movement and the funding through the GCF, it is really rebuilding that social justice piece of knowing that, you know, African Americans, this community itself has a ton of justice that has been done to it and through it, and it still can continue. And because of those dollars that are coming from the GCF, it is really helping empower and build the kids and the residents in Lincoln Heights.
The great thing, once again, that has been beneficial, not just to this grant, but just to the residents to see it as well, is that they can fight back and they have control of their own destiny. And that empowerment piece and seeing those fruits come to labor is, man, it's beautiful. You know, I just appreciate the partnership with the Greater Cincinnati Foundation to help make it happen.